to Thomas, there is a film that's also maybe difficult for people to pronounce. Sisu. It is an action war film that when I saw it, I'm like, okay, Nazis being destroyed. I'm all for this, and it's a different kind of film that you got a chance to talk to the director. So give us your thoughts on this film, man.
Yeah, I got to talk to director Jalmari Helander, and the film is called Sisu, which really isn't that hard to pronounce. It's just you just pronounce it phonetically, but I think your problem is you couldn't figure out if it was you couldn't remember it. You didn't know if it was Susu or Sisu or Sisu. Yeah. But Sisu, this comes from this Finnish word that basically means someone who is extremely determined, extremely committed to their cause, to do whatever they want to do to survive in this case. And this film follows this gold prospector who he is a veteran of the war, and he's lost everything, lost his family, and finally he catches a break, he finds some gold on his land. And then, of course, Nazis happen to be passing through. This is in the final days of World War II. And they are not going to make life easy for him, and he decides he's going to fight back. The Nazis don't know who they're messing with, and they find out very quickly. And there are like certain details that are peeled back about the legend of this character. He was an extremely, fearsome Finnish general, and it's almost like the John Wick type legend. You see these people talking about him, and it's like once they realize who they're messing with, you can just see the fear that comes over their faces, and just the aura that is surrounding this guy. Even over the course of a 90-minute runtime, just the mythology around him is built up in a really interesting way that kind of puts you right into the world.
So the cinematography and the coloring that they used in this really drew my attention, as well as the kind of the over the top violence that you would see in maybe Renfield or a Tarantino film. That drew you to this as well, right?
Yeah. It's beautiful cinematography over Lapland in Finland. It was filmed on location, so a lot of this is these wide, sweeping landscape shots, and it's a very quiet film whenever there isn't the crazy over-the-top violence, because our main character doesn't speak a word of dialogue for basically the entire film. He's kind of the wordless assassin, and he just carries this entire performance just in terms of body language and facial expressions.
Yep. So the film itself, who will appreciate this film?
I think people who are this played in front of the John Wick. This trailer played in front of John Wick.
Okay.
And it definitely knows that audience. It's from one of the same producers, and it gives you exactly what you're hoping for based on the trailers. There was a great pull quote from the trailer, and it was like, the most fun you will have watching Nazis get obliterated. And that's pretty good marketing. It delivers on that front, and there's a lot of variation in the action set pieces across different settings and across scope and scale. There's this really fascinating scene on a minefield. Then there's set piece with tanks and a plane. And then there's an underwater scene, which is one of the most creative scenes that paints a picture of survival and just the sheer will to survive and the sheer creativity that someone has to take to survive. So it's very procedural, as this guy goes and picks off these Nazis basically one by one, right. And he has to overcome so many things in his path, but you are going on this journey with him the entire time. So
gotcha. If you want to check out the interview that Thomas has with the director of this, you can go to elementsofmadness.com and check out the full review. And Thomas, we're about out of time, but I want to make sure that you get your rating in for this film.
Sisu, solid A- for this one as well.